It's time to hear from Sherwood.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah, right. Did you take it down? Yeah, that's great. Good afternoon, colleagues, former colleagues, friends, and family. I welcome you to the culmination and, without a doubt, the celebration of my federal government career. I've stood in this position many times saying farewell to others, as you heard. But today, it's my day. It's my time. Can I get an amen? Amen. In the days and weeks leading to this day, as my thoughts turned to what I would say, I decided I would not give the standard wooden speech that you usually hear at these luncheons. The standard wooden speech goes something like this. I started work in the days when the dinosaurs roamed the earth, and some fella walked up, introduced himself, and began to show me the ropes, and the rest, as they say, is history. Well, blah, 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 blah. Boring. I will not be giving that speech. First, I'll tell you how we ended up in this magnificent hall. It all started with one phone call back in the fall. I had this grandiose idea of having my retirement ball in a space in the mall. However, that didn't work out at all. Let me tell you, those folks in the mall, let's just say, they had a lot of gall. They offered me a 2-by-4-foot stall where I could have my retirement ball, but the money they wanted for the stall reached from wall to wall and down the hall. The money they wanted just didn't add up at all. So I placed a call to Golden Bull and told them that I was planning a retirement ball. In response, Golden Bull said, tell us all. We will need a deposit for this retirement ball. The deposit proved to be quite small. If I had to do it over again, I would avoid the mall because my wallet was just too small. I said to myself, it doesn't look like Golden Bull is trying to make a big haul, and their price isn't off the wall. So there you have it. I made the call. This is my haul. And you know what? This was an easy call. Look around this magnificent hall. This is what you get when your wallet is too small. Hey, Joe, you like that one? The topic that I will present today is near and dear to my heart. That is maintaining your physical self or staying physically fit. I'm sure you're sitting there saying, I'm sitting there asking yourself why I chose this topic. You didn't come here for this. The answer is simple. I want to change your perspective on your physical being. This is about giving you a takeaway. The quality of our lives and the people we love and hold dear is suffering because we're not giving sufficient thought and attention to our physical well-being. For example, I know that a lot of us maintain fantastic homes. We get the gutters cleaned, we have the roof repaired, we have the house painted, etc., etc., etc. We also maintain our cars. We get our cars polished and waxed. We meticulously adhere to the maintenance schedules recommended by the car's manufacturer. However, most of us do not pay the same careful attention to our health and physical well-being. Let's put it this way. If we applied the same level of diligence or lack thereof to our houses and cars that we pay to our health, we would be homeless and traveling on foot. Yes, it's that start. You only have to look to the rising statistics of obesity to confirm the truth of what I'm saying. For example, according to a survey compiled by the National Center for Health Statistics, CDC, over 36% of U.S. adults were obese in the years 2009 to 2010. When you consider the current U.S. population of 315 million people, that means that, and you know, we like to put things in real numbers, that means that nearly 127 U.S. adults are obese. The percentage of children who were obese in the years 2009 to 2010 approaches 17%, according to a survey conducted by the National Center for Health Statistics. This tells you that if the current trend continues, soon 1 in 5 children will be obese. These statistics are alarming and should be a wake-up call. Obesity puts one at higher risk for heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and cancer. According to the National Center for Health Statistics, these diseases are some of the leading causes of preventable death. I'll repeat. These diseases are some of the leading causes of preventable death. The message? Bring your weight down, since your risk for serious disease and premature death risk increases with each increase in body weight. When you put yourself at higher risk for the disease mentioned by not maintaining a normal weight, you enter the twilight zone. Doctors, although they have the best of intentions, they've taken an oath, only serve to slow, not stop, your descent into the twilight zone. Picture this. You're sinking in quicksand and someone tries to help. However, he or she is only successful in slowing your decline, not stopping it. Therefore, it seems that the best strategy is to avoid entering the twilight zone in the first place. So you ask yourself, what can you do? Isn't physical decline and poor health inevitable? No. Last week in the news, there was a woman who was 101 years old who was running on a treadmill as part of her workout. She stated she had exercised all of her life. Wake up, people. You've got to be active. Your bodies were designed to move. Your bodies were not designed to create a permanent indentation in your couch. Here's what you can do. Here's what you should do. Folks, in real estate, the mantra is location, location, location. Well, in health circles, the mantra is exercise, exercise, exercise. Also, you need to digest a diet most of the time that contributes to and enhances the body's normal processes. For example, a ratio of potassium. Now, I know I'm getting a little technical here, but for example, a ratio of potassium to sodium or salt of 3 parts potassium to 1 part sodium, which by the way is recommended, significantly reduces the risk of high blood pressure. I'll say that again. A ratio of potassium to sodium of 3 parts potassium to 1 part sodium, and this is the takeaway that I talked about earlier, which by the way is recommended, significantly reduces the risk of high blood pressure. The proper potassium to sodium balance allows the body cell to carry out the functions they were intended to do. As I go about my daily activities, I notice a number of things that people do to degrade their health and well-being now and into the future. People don't eat breakfast, or what goes for breakfast is cups of coffee. people say their reason for eating junk food is that they don't have the time, so they eat on the run and eat junk. They may not have the time now, but they will when their unhealthy eating habits cause some type of health breakdown, or even worse, when they enter the twilight zone. What else can you do? You can perform weight-bearing exercises such as walking and weightlifting. These specific exercises stress your bones and skeleton, keeping them strong, thereby helping you to avoid the fragility that commonly is associated with old age. In actuality, I'm old, okay? That's the bottom line. Not done yet. You can get sufficient sleep each and every night. A recent news article stated that 80% of the people in the world are sleep deprived. I believe that a major culprit in this sleep deprivation epidemic is the device we are all familiar with, the alarm clock. You know there's an app for that. I'm serious. ABC News is promoting an alarm clock app. You need an alarm clock like you need a hole in your head. The body has its own internal biological clock. The internal biological clock is superior to any alarm clock or alarm clock app. I'm sure you're sitting there going, but I'll be late for work or wherever else I need to go soon after waking up. Here's the bottom line. The alarm clock wakes you up prematurely before you've had your full night's rest, whereas your internal biological clock wakes you up when you've had sufficient sleep. So how do I chuck my alarm clock or alarm clock app and rely on my internal biological clock? Simple. First, record the time you went to bed and the time you woke without falling back to sleep. Note these times for about a week and how long you slept. Second, go to bed at the same time each night. You can record Dancing with the Stars. Third, if, for example, you need 6 hours of sleep to be fully rested and you need to be up by 5 o'clock a.m. to arrive at work on time, then you need to go to bed close to around 11 p.m. Goodbye, alarm clock. If that is not enough, according to another study, the calories burned while you sleep represents about 60 to 75% of your total daily calories burned, which means that insufficient sleep contributes to weight gain. That's not all you can do. You can weigh yourself daily, sans clothes, and keep a record of your weight. There are many apps for that. Other studies have shown that those who lost significant amounts of weight and kept it off for a year or more weighed themselves daily. In life, we all make decisions. Some good, some bad. I've made my share of both. I'll share with you some of the good decisions I've made. I decided to stay with the civil service retirement system rather than switch to the federal employees. Back then when we didn't have the internet, there was folks who switched over and you see, now they're still working. So, one good decision was staying with the old civil service retirement system. Otherwise, I would not likely be able to retire come this Friday. Decisions have consequences. Another good decision I made was to purchase a house in D.C., my hometown. Otherwise, I might not be able to afford to live in the town I was born in. Decisions have consequences. The best decision by far I ever made was the decision to maintain my health. I was born in June of 1948. You do the math. And if you can't do the math, I'm 64 and a half. Otherwise, I may have been forced to retire on disability, or maybe the Grim Reaper would have knocked on my door and asked me to come with him. Decisions have consequences. This is my story. This is my song. Now the next line could easily be goodbye so long. Instead, live strong, live long, live strong, live long. That's my story. Goodbye so long.